we need to think about what kinds of corporate organization are likely to create jobs that will stay in the United States and create stable employment. The second thing that we've had happen with American business is that wages have become relatively flat, and most of the income that's leading to wealth in the families that are doing well is capital income. It's having stock, it's having profit sharing, but most of those benefits are concentrated at the top. And so I think employee ownership offers the possibility in some companies to provide capital ownership to a broader group of citizens, obviously if the company has performance. And secondly, to provide an opportunity to create stable jobs that can stay at home. An owner is a man or woman who has control over property, control over selling it, receives the income or profits on property, and has a say about that property. So ownership includes not just economic value, but the social choice about the property. It involves a lot more personal responsibility than the old system, which frankly had a lot of management, a lot of hierarchy, which policed employees. But when a lot of problems are being solved inside the mine, you can't police inside the mine. You have to motivate from within. People have to want to do their work really well. So I think we need to look at all of our tax laws and figure out what barriers there are to employee ownership. And a lot of the removal of these barriers involves reducing taxes or creating an even playing field. The main improvements that we tend to observe on average are better productivity, more motivation for the individual worker, more willingness to cooperate with other workers in a team. The concept of shared capitalism or democratic capitalism or financial participation in capitalism has been around really for over a century. The central concept, I think, was articulated by the founders of the American Revolution, which is that to have a successful democratic republic, you need to have broad-based property ownership so citizens can be independent. We need to find a way to reproduce the kind of supporting environment for a democracy that the founders were thinking of. At their time, broad-based ownership of land, the independent farmer, each owning their family, owning their own land and being able to support themselves through the capital ownership of land was an important part of their way of looking at a healthy nation. Right now, there are a lot of policies in Washington that favor the opposite of broad-based employee ownership, favor concentrated ownership at the top of corporations. Since a lot of the leading tech companies have broad-based employee ownership and profit sharing, since there is a huge sector in small business with many of the majority employee ownership, the presence of this issue in business schools is very much in the other direction. Okay? It's almost as if this is not a relevant phenomenon. So somehow I think that the presence of these ideas and these cases and looking at the problems related to these issues in business schools, it would be good if that would be parallel to the presence of these phenomena in our society.